I've been hiding my Omega scent for 4 years in Seoul, working 2 jobs I can barely see to do, saving every one for the surgery that might give me my sight back. Then my 6-year-old son accidentally sent our last $500 to 3 alpha billionaires, and now they're standing at my door at 5 in the morning saying we belong to them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome back, beautiful souls. If you're ready for this journey, hit subscribe, because tomorrow I'm bringing you another story just as heart-wrenching and beautiful as this one. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. Now, let us begin. It started at 11:47 p.m. on a Wednesday night. I was lying in our tiny office tel in Guro district, my phone's screen reader announcing the balance in my medical savings account for the 100th time, of 500,000 won, exactly 500,000 won. Half of what I needed for the consultation at Seoul National University Hospital's ophthalmology department, the consultation that might tell me if the degenerative condition stealing my vision could be stopped if I'd ever see my son's face clearly again. "Mama, can I play a game on your phone?" Tayo's small voice cut through my thoughts. He was 6 years old, pure sunshine in human form, the only good thing that came from 4 years of survival since his father abandoned us. "Just for a little while, baby," I said, handing him the device. "Be careful with it." I heard him settle beside me on our shared bed, the mattress dipping under his weight. The phone made soft clicking sounds as he navigated through apps. I should have been more careful. Should have logged out of my banking app. Should have anticipated that a curious 6-year-old with limited reading skills might make a mistake that would change everything. But I was exhausted. 2 jobs, both of them hard when you're slowly going blind. The morning shift at a call center where I could still use screen readers and memorize scripts. The evening shift cleaning office buildings where I'd learned to navigate by touch and counting steps. I fell asleep to the sound of Tayo's quiet humming, completely unaware that my life was about to shatter and rebuild itself in ways I couldn't imagine. I woke to my phone buzzing violently at 5:07 a.m. The screen reader announced an incoming call from an unknown number. My stomach dropped. Unknown numbers at dawn meant emergencies, bad news, things I couldn't afford to handle. "Hello?" My voice came out rough with sleep. "Is this Han Jiwoo?" A man's voice, deep and controlled, with an edge of something I couldn't identify. "Yes. Who is this?" "My name is Kang Seojun. You don't know me, but your son Tayo accidentally sent 500,000 won to my company's corporate account last night. We're outside your building. We'd like to return it." I sat up so fast my vision swam, the shadows and shapes that made up my world blurring together. "What?" "Your son," the voice repeated patiently. "He used your banking app around midnight. The transfer was logged as going to Chen Holdings' main corporate account. We traced the transaction to you. We're here to return the money and make sure everything is okay." Panic clawed up my throat. 500,000 won, my surgery fund, gone. "How did you find my address?" "We own the bank." A different voice now, smoother, slightly warmer. "I'm Kang Tahun, Seojun's brother. We flagged the transaction because it was unusual. A small amount from a clearly struggling account going to a corporate account we use for multi-billion won deals. We wanted to understand why." "This is a scam," I said, my hands shaking as I felt for Tayo beside me. He was still asleep, curled up with his worn rabbit plushie. "This is some kind of scam." "It's not." A third voice, sharper than the others. "I'm Kang Junwoo, the third brother. And we're not scammers. We're standing outside your building because a child accidentally sent money that clearly represents everything you have. We're here to fix it." "I don't understand." My voice cracked. "Why would 3 people come at 5 in the morning for 500,000 won? That's nothing to you." "It's everything to you. Seojun again, and the child who sent it deserves better than to wake up knowing he made a mistake that hurt his family. Please, we just want to help." I wanted to hang up, wanted to pretend this wasn't happening, but I needed that money, needed it desperately enough to take a risk I'd normally never take. "I'm coming down," I said. "Stay outside, don't come up." I pulled on clothes by touch, feeling for the sweater I'd left on the chair, the jeans I knew had no holes. My cane rested against the wall, the one tool that let me navigate the world safely. I grabbed it and headed for the door. "Mama?" Tayo's sleepy voice stopped me. "Stay in bed, baby. I'll be right back." "Where are you going?" Just downstairs for a minute. I forced my voice steady. I love you. Love you too, Mama. The stairs were familiar territory. 32 steps down to the lobby. I counted each one, my cane tapping ahead of me, listening for obstacles. The pre-dawn air was cold when I pushed through the building's front door, biting against my skin. I smelled them before I heard them. Alpha scent, strong and undeniable even through my suppressants. Rain and cedar and something darker, more expensive. The kind of scent that didn't belong in Guro district at 5 in the morning. Han Jiwoo. Seo Jun's voice came from my left. I turned toward it, my useless eyes trying to make out shapes in the dim morning light. I could see shadows, movement, but no details. 3 large figures standing near what looked like a dark vehicle. I am here. My voice came out steadier than I felt. You said you have my money. Footsteps approached, measured and careful. I tensed, my grip tightening on my cane. May I come closer? Seo Jun asked, and the fact that he asked, that he didn't just approach, made something in my chest loosen slightly. Yes. He stopped about 2 feet away. I'm going to hand you a phone. It shows the transaction. You can verify the amount and we'll transfer it back immediately. A phone pressed into my hand. I raised it close to my face, squinting at the screen. The brightness made my eyes water, but I could just make out the numbers. 500,000 won, transferred to Chen Holdings at 11:52 p.m. How did he even do this? I asked, my voice breaking. He's 6. He can barely read. The recipient list was open. Tahon spoke from somewhere to my right. Your banking app. He probably thought he was sending it to the clinic. Chen Clinic and Chen Holdings are right next to each other alphabetically. An easy mistake for a child. Oh God. I pressed my palm against my forehead. This is my fault. I should have been more careful. It's not your fault. Junwoo, from directly ahead of me. You were trying to save for something important. Medical savings accounts are flagged in our system. What's the surgery for? I shouldn't tell them. Shouldn't share personal information with 3 strangers who claim to be alpha billionaires. But exhaustion and fear made me honest. My eyes. I'm going blind. Degenerative condition. The consultation at SNU hospital costs 1 million won just to see if they can stop it. I had half. Now I have nothing. The silence that followed was heavy, painful. Then Seo Jun spoke, his voice different somehow, rougher. Transfer it back. He said to his brothers, all of it, plus the other half she needs. Wait, what? I stepped back. No, just give me back what Tayo sent. I don't need charity. It's not charity, Tahon said gently. It's an apology. For what? You didn't do anything wrong. For the fact that our corporate account was even in the system where a child could accidentally find it. Junwoo explained. For the stress this caused you. For the fact that you've been working yourself to exhaustion, trying to save money we can make in seconds. Or you don't know that, I said desperately. You don't know anything about me. We know enough. Seo Jun again, closer now. We know you're raising a child alone. We know you're losing your vision and still working 2 jobs. We know that 500,000 won represents months of sacrifice. And we know that someone who fights that hard deserves help. My phone buzzed. The screen reader announced a deposit. 1 million won transferred to account ending in 7392. I stared at the phone, at the numbers I could barely see, my mind refusing to process what just happened. That's too much, I whispered. I can't accept this. You already did, Seo Jun said. It's done. Non-refundable. Consider it a gift for Tayo, for being brave enough to try to help, even if it was the wrong account. Something in my chest cracked. When was the last time anyone had called my son brave? When had anyone seen his actions as anything other than a mistake? Why? The question came out broken. Why would you do this? Silence. Then Tahon spoke carefully. Can we meet Tayo? Just for a moment. We'd like to explain to him that everything is okay. That his mistake didn't hurt anyone. No. The word came out sharp, protective. You're not meeting my son. We understand, Seo Jun said immediately. But may we at least give you our contact information, in case you need anything else. In case the consultation reveals you need more than you have. I don't need anything from you. I took another step back, my cane finding the edge of the curb. Thank you for returning the money, but I can handle the rest myself. Can you? Junwoo asked, not unkindly. Can you really handle going blind while raising a child alone? Can you handle if the surgery costs more than you save? Can you handle everything without help? The truth of his words hit like a slap. I've been handling it for 4 years, I said quietly. I'll keep handling it. You don't have to, Taehoon said. Not anymore. I turned toward the building, toward the stairs I could navigate by counting, toward my son who was probably still sleeping peacefully, unaware of the chaos he'd caused. Don't contact me again, I said. Please, just forget this happened. I walked away before they could respond, my cane tapping against concrete, counting steps back to safety. But I could feel their eyes on me the entire way, could smell their scent even as I climbed the stairs, could feel the weight of their presence like a promise I was too afraid to accept. I made it back to the apartment, locked the door, and collapsed against it. Tayo was awake, sitting up in bed, his eyes wide with worry. Mama, did I do something bad? I went to him immediately, pulling him into my arms, breathing in his familiar scent of baby shampoo and innocence. No, baby. You didn't do anything bad. You tried to help. That's never bad. But the money. He sniffled against my shirt. I wanted to send it to the eye doctor for you, but I couldn't read the words right. I know, baby, I know, and some very kind people brought it back. Everything is okay. Really? Really? I held him tighter. We're okay. But I wasn't sure I believed it, because my phone was still in my pocket, heavy with the weight of 1 million won I hadn't earned. And somewhere in Seoul, 3 alpha strangers knew exactly where I lived, exactly how desperate I was, exactly how much I needed help I was too proud to accept, and I had no idea what that meant for our carefully constructed life of survival and stubborn independence. The consultation was scheduled for Monday, 3 days away. I tried to focus on work, on routine, Sehon pretending that nothing had changed, but my phone kept buzzing with messages from unknown numbers. Friday morning. Han Jiwoo, this is Kang Seojun. I wanted to check if you received the transfer correctly. Please confirm. I deleted it without responding. Friday afternoon, this is Taehoon. I hope you're doing well. If you need help navigating to the hospital on Monday, we'd be happy to arrange transportation. Deleted. Friday evening, Junwoo here. We've taken the liberty of reviewing SNU Hospital's ophthalmology department. Dr. Lee Min-seo is the best for degenerative conditions. We can get you an appointment with her specifically if you'd like. I stared at that message for a long time before deleting it. Saturday morning, Tayo asked the question I'd been dreading. Mama, who were those people? The ones who came in the morning? Just some people who worked at the bank, baby. They helped us fix a mistake. Were they nice? I paused, my hands stilling over the rice I was washing for breakfast. Yes, they were nice. Can we see them again? No, baby, they're very busy people. Oh, his disappointment was clear. I wanted to say thank you for being nice to you. Something in my chest twisted painfully. Sunday night, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Jiwoo. Seojun's voice was gentle. Please don't hang up. How did you get this number? You gave it to us Wednesday morning, remember? I hadn't, but of course they'd gotten it somehow. They own the bank. What do you want? I asked tiredly. To make sure you're okay, that you have everything you need for tomorrow. I'm fine. You're scared. It wasn't a question. Your scent spiked with fear when I mentioned it. Stop smelling me. That's invasive. Can't help it. A pause. You're very close to your heat. Your suppressants are failing. My blood went cold. What? Your scent. It's been getting stronger each time we've called. You're probably a week away, maybe less. Have you arranged care for Tayo during your heat? I'll manage. But my voice shook. I always manage. Locked myself in the bathroom with suppressants and ice packs and sheer willpower, while Tayo stayed with the neighbor. That's not safe. Not for you or for him. Let us help. Why do you care? The question burst out of me. Why do 3 alpha billionaires care about some random omega they met once? The silence stretched so long I thought he'd hung up. Then, because you're not random. Because from the moment we scented you, we knew, and I know you felt it too, even if you won't admit it. Felt what? The bond, the pull, the reason every instinct we have screams at us to protect you. My hand tightened on the phone. That's not real. That's just biology. It's both. And Jiwoo, whether you accept it or not, whether you want us or not, we're not going anywhere. We'll be at the hospital tomorrow, not to pressure you, just to make sure you're safe. Don't. Please don't. We'll stay out of sight, he promised. You won't even know we're there. The line went dead. I stood there in my dark apartment, the phone trembling in my hand, and tried to convince myself that what he said wasn't true, that I hadn't felt the pull, that their scent didn't make my omega instincts sing, that I wasn't terrified because part of me wanted to trust them. Monday morning came too fast. I woke Tayo at 6, got him ready for school, walked him to the bus stop with my cane tapping the familiar path. Then I headed to the subway, counting stops, listening to announcements, navigating the world by sound and memory and sheer stubborn will. Seoul National University Hospital was massive, overwhelming. I stood in the lobby, my cane in one hand, appointment confirmation on my phone in the other, trying to orient myself. "Excuse me," a soft female voice to my right. "Are you Han Jiwoo?" "Yes, I'm Nurse Kim. Dr. Lee is ready for you. May I guide you to her office?" Relief flooded through me. "Yes, please." She took my elbow gently, leading me through hallways that smelled of antiseptic and fear. We stopped at a door. "Right through here," she said. "Dr. Lee is waiting." The examination took 2 hours, bright lights shining in my eyes, questions about my vision loss, tests I could barely complete, and finally, the verdict, "Mr. Han." Dr. Lee's voice was kind but firm. "Your condition is progressing faster than I'd hoped. We can slow it, possibly stop it, but we can't reverse what's already been lost." My throat closed. "How much will I lose?" "Without treatment, you'll be completely blind within 6 months. With treatment, we might preserve 30% of your current vision. Maybe more if we're lucky." 6 months. The words echoed in my skull. "What's the treatment?" I managed. "Surgery, followed by monthly injections for at least a year. The total cost will be approximately 15 million won. 15 million. I had 1 million. 1 million that wasn't even mine. I can't afford that," I said flatly. "There are payment plans, programs for low-income patients. I'll look into it," but we both knew I wouldn't qualify. I made just enough to disqualify from assistance, not enough to actually pay. I left the hospital in a daze, my cane tapping against tile, my mind spinning with impossible numbers. 15 million won. I'd need to work for years, and I didn't have years. I had 6 months. I was halfway to the subway when I smelled them. Rain and cedar and that dark, expensive undertone that meant alpha. That meant them. "We told you we'd stay out of sight." Seo Jun's voice came from somewhere ahead. "But you look like you're about to collapse. Please let us take you home." "I'm fine," but my voice was hollow. "You're not fine. Tahun now, closer. You just got bad news. We can see it on your face." "How long have you been following me?" "We were in the waiting room," Junwoo admitted, 3 floors down. "We wanted to be close in case you needed us. I needed to be angry, needed to tell them to leave me alone. But I was so tired, so scared, so utterly overwhelmed." "How bad is it?" Seo Jun asked gently, and I broke. The words spilled out of me standing on a Seoul street corner at 10 a.m., telling 3 strangers everything: the diagnosis, the 6-month timeline, the 15 million won I didn't have, the fact that I was going to go blind and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Tahun's arms came around me before I realized I was crying. He smelled like safety, like pack, like everything my omega instincts craved and my traumatized heart feared. "We'll cover it," Seo Jun said firmly. "The surgery, the injections, everything. No." I pushed against Tahun's chest, but he didn't let go. "I can't take that from you. You're not taking, we're giving." "Why?" I sobbed. "Why do you care so much?" "Because you're ours." All 3 of them said it, together, certain, and I was too broken to argue anymore. They took me to their car, settled me in the back seat between Tahun and Seojun while Junwoo drove. They didn't take me home. They took me to their penthouse, the one in Lotte World Tower that I'd seen on TV but never imagined entering. "You need to rest," Seojun said as we rode the elevator up. "Then we need to talk. Really talk." "About what?" about why we can't leave you alone, about what you are to us, about what happens next. The penthouse was exactly as overwhelming as I'd imagined. I felt the space more than saw it, heard my footsteps echo on marble, smelled expensive leather and wood polish. Sit? Tahun guided me to what felt like a couch. I'm making tea. I don't want tea. You're shaking. You need tea. I sat because standing felt impossible. Seo Jun settled beside me, not touching, just present. Ask us, he said quietly. Whatever you want to know. No lies, no evasion, complete honesty. Why me? The question I'd been holding since Wednesday morning. Out of all the people in Seoul, why do you care about me and Tayo? Because you're our fated mate. He said it simply, like it was obvious. The three of us have known our entire lives that we'd share an Omega. That when we found them, we'd know instantly. And when you stepped out of that building Wednesday morning, when your scent hit us even through your suppressants, we knew. That's not real. Fated mates are myths. They're rare. Junwoo corrected, sitting across from us. But not myths, and the three of us being triplets makes it even more likely. Our bond with each other is so strong that it requires an equally strong bond with our mate to balance it. I'm not your mate. I'm just a struggling Omega you feel sorry for. We don't pity you. Taon returned with tea, pressing a warm cup into my hands. We admire you. You've survived 4 years alone, raised a beautiful son, worked yourself to exhaustion to save for surgery. You're the strongest person we've ever met. The tea smelled like jasmine. I took a sip, letting the warmth spread through me. And Tayo? I asked quietly. What about him? We want to be his fathers, Seo Jun said. All three of us, if you'll let us. My hands shook, tea sloshing in the cup. You don't even know him. We know he's brave. That he tried to help you even when he made a mistake. That he loves you enough to worry. That's enough to start. And if I say no, if I reject this bond, then we accept that, Tahun said. But we'll still help you, still pay for your surgery, still make sure Tayo is taken care of, because that's what Pac does. I'm not your Pac. You could be. Junwoo leaned forward. We're not asking you to decide today. We're asking you to give us a chance, to let us prove we mean what we say. And my heat? I asked. You said my suppressants are failing. We have a heat suite here, Seo Jun explained. Completely isolated, temperature controlled, stocked with everything you'd need. You could spend your heat there safely while we watch Tayo. Or, if you're comfortable enough by then, we could help you through it. The idea of alphas helping through heat should have terrified me. Instead, my Omega instincts purred at the thought. I need time, I said finally. I need to think. Take all the time you need, Seojin promised, but let us help with the immediate things, the surgery, Tayo's care, your heat, those can't wait. He was right, and I was tired of fighting alone. Okay. The word felt like surrender and relief all at once. Okay, help me. The relief on their faces was almost painful to see. Over the next week, they proved they meant every word. The surgery was scheduled for the following Monday, paid in full. Tayo was enrolled in a better school, closer to their penthouse than my apartment. My heat hit on Wednesday, and I spent 3 days in their heat suite, safe and cared for, while they took turns watching my son. When I came out on Saturday, exhausted but clear-headed, I found Tayo in their living room, coloring with Tahun, completely at home. Mama! He ran to me, throwing his arms around my waist. You're okay. I'm okay, baby. I ran my fingers through his hair, breathing him in. Appa Tahun taught me to draw dragons, he said excitedly, and Appa Junwoo took me to the aquarium, and Appa Seojin let me help make dinner. My heart stopped. Appa. He was calling them Appa. I looked up at the 3 alphas standing across the room, watching us with identical expressions of hope and fear. Is that okay? Seojun asked quietly. He started calling us that yesterday. We didn't correct him because we weren't sure what you'd want. I should be angry, should remind Tayo they weren't his fathers, but he looked so happy, so settled, so safe. It's okay. I whispered, if you want that, if you really mean it, we mean it, all 3 said together. And I realized I believed them. The surgery was successful. I woke up with bandages over my eyes, terrified and hopeful. When Dr. Lee removed them a week later, the world came into focus. Not perfect, not complete, but I could see. I could see the tears on Seojun's face as he held my hand, could see Tahun's smile, warm and genuine, could see Junwoo standing in the corner, phone out, recording the moment, could see Tayo bouncing excitedly, asking if I could really see him now. "Yes, baby." My voice broke. "I can see you. You're so beautiful." "Do you see the appas too?" he asked. I looked at the 3 identical alphas standing around my hospital bed. "Yes," I said softly. "I see them. Are they handsome?" Tayo asked innocently. "Very handsome," I admitted. Seo-jun stepped forward, his hand still in mine. "Can you see this clearly?" he asked, pulling something from his pocket. A small velvet box. My breath stopped. "We know it's fast," Tahun said quickly. "We know you need more time, but we wanted you to have this, so you know we're serious." Seo-jun opened the box. 3 rings sat inside, white gold, simple, perfect, one for each of us. Junwoo explained, "When you're ready, no pressure, no timeline, just a promise that we're here, that we're not going anywhere." I looked at the rings, at the 3 alphas who'd saved me, at my son who was grinning like this was the best day of his life, and I made a choice I'd been too afraid to make. "Ask me," I said. "What?" Seo-jun's eyes widened. "Ask me properly." Understanding dawned on his face. He dropped to one knee, still holding the box. "Han Jiwoo, will you be our Omega, our mate, our family?" I looked at Tahun and Junwoo, who'd both dropped to their knees beside their brother. "Yes." The word came out strong, certain. "Yes, I'll be yours." The bond snapped into place like coming home. Their scents wrapped around me, and for the first time in 4 years, my Omega instincts sang with pure joy. Tayo cheered, throwing himself at all 4 of us, creating a tangled pile of pack on the hospital floor. And I realized that sometimes the worst mistakes lead to the best outcomes, that asking for help isn't weakness, that family isn't always blood. Sometimes family is 3 alpha strangers who show up at dawn because a 6-year-old made a mistake. Sometimes family is exactly what you need when you're too proud to ask for it. 6 months later, we stood in the house they'd bought for us. Not a penthouse, not an apartment, but a real house with a yard where Tayo could play. My vision was stable, 35% preserved, better than expected, enough to see my son's face clearly, enough to see my mate's smiles, enough to see the life we were building together. Tayo ran through the yard, chasing butterflies, his laughter ringing clear. "Happy?" Seo-jun asked, his arm around my waist. "Terrifyingly happy," I admitted. "I keep waiting for it to end. It won't," Tahun promised from my other side. "We've got you," Junwoo added, "always," and I believed them. The doorbell rang. "I'll get it," Junwoo said, heading inside. Moments later, he appeared in the doorway, his expression strange. "Jiwoo, there's someone here to see you." My stomach dropped. "Who?" He stepped aside, and standing in my doorway was the man I'd spent 4 years trying to forget. Kwon Minho, Tayo's biological father, the alpha who'd abandoned us the moment I told him I was pregnant. Behind him stood a woman, beautiful, elegant, clearly alpha, and very clearly pregnant. Jiwoo. Minho's voice was exactly as I remembered. "We need to talk. About Tayo." My blood turned to ice, because I knew what was coming, could see it in his eyes, could feel it in the tension radiating from my mates as they moved to flank me protectively. He wanted his son back, and I had no idea if the law would let me keep him. Standing in my doorway, the past I'd buried was demanding entry, and this time I had 3 alphas beside me ready to fight. This time I wouldn't face it alone. Seo-jun's hand found mine, squeezing tight, "Whatever happens," he whispered. "We protect our pack," and I knew he meant it. But as Minho's eyes traveled from me to my mates to Tayo playing in the yard, I saw calculation in his expression, saw the moment he realized I wasn't alone anymore, wasn't vulnerable anymore, and saw him decide to take from me anyway. This wasn't over, it was just beginning. Thank you for staying with this story to the end. If you felt every emotion, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments whether you choose to fight or forgive if your past showed up demanding what they abandoned. Subscribe for the next chapter, because Minho's about to learn that stealing from a mated Omega with 3 alpha billionaires protecting them is the worst mistake he'll ever make. The next part drops soon, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens when the Chen triplets show exactly why they're feared in Seoul's business world. Until then, remember, family isn't who abandons you. Family is who shows up at dawn when you need them most. Minho stood in my doorway, like a ghost from a nightmare I'd finally stopped having. 4 years older, expensive suit, confident posture. Nothing like the panicked alpha who'd called me defective and walked out. "We need to talk," he repeated, his eyes flicking to Tayo in the yard. "About custody arrangements." Seo-jun moved instantly, placing himself between Minho and the view of our son. "There are no custody arrangements," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "You have no rights here." "Actually," the woman beside Minho spoke for the first time. Her voice was crisp, educated, lawyer-like. "Our Korean family law is quite clear. Biological fathers have parental rights regardless of their previous involvement." "And you are?" Tahun asked, his tone dangerously polite. "Attorney Jung So-hee. I represent Mr. Kwan's interests." Junwoo pulled out his phone, already typing. "Interesting," he said after a moment. "Jung and Associates, specializing in family law and custody disputes. You've never lost a case." "I pride myself on that record," she said coolly. My legs felt weak. I reached for Seo-jun's arm, needing the support. "Why now?" I asked Minho directly. 4 years, 4 years of silence. Why show up now? Minho had the decency to look uncomfortable. "I made mistakes," he started. "Mistakes?" The word burst out of me. "You called me defective. You said I trapped you. You disappeared before Tayo was even born. I was young, scared, not ready to be a father. And now you are?" Tahun asked coldly. "What changed?" Minho's hand went to the woman beside him, to her pregnant belly. "I'm getting married," he said, "starting a family. And I realized I already have a son, one who deserves to know his father." "You're not his father," I said. "You're a sperm donor who ran. I'm his biological parent, and I have rights. Rights you abandoned." Junwoo interrupted, his phone still out. "Rights you voluntarily relinquished when you refused all contact, all support, all involvement." "I never relinquished anything legally," Minho shot back. "And my lawyer assures me that 4 years of absence doesn't void parental rights." "It does when you can't prove you're the father," Seo-jun said quietly. Everyone froze. "What?" Minho's face went pale. "Tayo's birth certificate," Seo-jun continued, his voice calm and lethal. "Lists, no father. Because you refused to sign, refused to acknowledge him, so legally you have no claim. DNA testing will prove paternity," Attorney Young said smoothly. "Only if Jiwoo consents to testing," Junwoo countered, "which he won't. Because you abandoned your client's alleged child and now want to disrupt his life for your own convenience." "This isn't about convenience." Minho's voice rose. "He's my son. He's my son," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "Mine. I carried him, birthed him, fed him, raised him, alone. While you were living your life pretending we didn't exist. You don't get to show up now and claim him." "I'm not trying to take him away," Minho said, his tone shifting to something meant to be reassuring. "I just want visitation, a chance to know him." "No. Jiwoo, be reasonable. This is about what's best for Tayo. What's best for Tayo is never knowing the man who called him a mistake before he was even born." "I never said that. You said I trapped you, that I got pregnant on purpose, that I was trying to ruin your life. What do you think that made our son?" The silence was damning. Attorney Jung stepped forward, handing me a formal document. "These are custody petitions," she said. "We're filing tomorrow morning. I'd recommend you retain counsel." Seo-jun plucked the papers from my hand before I could react. His eyes scanned them, his jaw tightening with each line. "Full custody with visitation for Jiwoo." He read aloud. "You're not asking for shared custody. You're asking for primary custody. It's in Tayo's best interests," Attorney Young said. "Mr. Kwan can provide a stable 2-parent home, financial security. Educational opportunities? And what can Mr. Han provide?" She let the question hang, the implications clear. Before I could answer, before rage could fully take hold, Seo-jun spoke. Mr. Han provides love, he said coldly. Sacrifice, dedication, everything your client refused to give. Plus, Tahun added, 3 devoted partners who claim Tayo as their own son. You're not married, Attorney Young noted. Cohabiting with multiple alphas isn't exactly traditional family structure. Neither is abandoning your pregnant Omega and showing up 4 years later demanding custody. Junwoo shot back. Minho finally looked at me directly. I'm sorry, he said, and he almost sounded genuine. For all of it, for leaving, for the things I said, but I want to make it right. You can't make this right, I said quietly. You can only make it worse. And that's exactly what you're doing. The court will decide, Attorney Young said. We'll see you at the hearing. She handed Seo Jun another card, in case you want to negotiate before this goes to trial. They left, walking down my driveway, getting into a car that cost more than I'd make in 5 years, driving away like they hadn't just destroyed my world. I stood there, frozen, until Tayo's voice cut through my paralysis. Mama? Who were those people? I turned to see my son standing in the doorway, his face scrunched with confusion. Just some people who made a mistake, baby. I managed. They're gone now. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't true. They weren't gone. They were just getting started. That night, after Tayo was asleep, the 4 of us sat in the living room. Seo Jun had the custody petition spread across the coffee table. Junwoo was on his laptop, pulling up case law. Tahun sat beside me, his hand in mine, anchoring me. This is bad, Junwoo said finally. Family courts heavily favor biological parents, even absent ones, and Minho's lawyer is good. She'll argue that he's reformed, ready to parent, able to provide stability. What about me? I asked. Don't I get a say? You do, Seo Jun said, but they'll use everything against you. Single parent, 2 jobs, recent health crisis, living with 3 unmarried alphas. We could fix that last part, Tahun said quietly. Everyone looked at him. We're already mated, he continued. The bond is formed. All we need is the legal paperwork. You want to get married? I asked. To fight a custody case? I want to get married because you're ours and we're yours. Tahun corrected. The custody case just makes it more urgent. A legal marriage would help. Junwoo admitted. 3 registered partners, stable family unit, financial security. It also makes us a target, Seo Jun countered. They'll argue we're using marriage to manipulate the court. Maybe, Junwoo said, but it's better than the alternative. I looked at my 3 mates, these alphas who'd saved me, who'd claimed my son as their own, who were now willing to legally bind themselves to me just to help me fight. I can't ask you to do this, I said. Marriage just for a court case. You're not asking. Seo Jun took my other hand. We're offering. And it's not just for the court. It's because we want to. Because we love you. Because Tayo deserves to have his family recognized legally. We could do it tomorrow, Tahun said. Seoul City Hall. Simple registration, all 4 of us. What about your families? I asked. Your reputation? Marrying an Omega with a child, doing it through group marriage registration. Our families will accept what we tell them to accept, Junwoo said firmly. And our reputation will be fine. We're Chen Industries. We make the rules. I want to, I said softly. Not just for the case, for us. I want Tayo to have parents, real parents, legal parents. Then we do it tomorrow. Seo Jun decided marriage first. Then we destroy Kwon Minho's case. We married on Thursday, no ceremony, no celebration. Just 4 people at Seoul City Hall, signing documents that made us legal, made us family. Tayo cried when we told him, happy tears, because now he had 3 appas officially, 3 fathers who chose him. The custody hearing was set for 2 weeks later. In that time, Junwoo hired the best family law attorney in Seoul, a woman named Kim Yuna who'd never lost a custody case to Young So-hee. We met her at her office in Gangnam, sleek, modern, intimidating, Mr. Han. She greeted me with a firm handshake. And the Chen triplets. I've heard a lot about you. Can you win this? Seo Jun asked directly. Attorney Kim smiled, sharp and confident. I don't lose, she said, but I need complete honesty from all of you. Everything that could be used against you, I need to know now. Over the next hour, I told her everything: the abandonment, the years of struggle, my blindness, the way we'd met, the rushed marriage. She took notes, her expression never changing. When I finished, she looked up. "Good," she said. "This is workable." "How?" I asked. "They're going to paint me as unstable, desperate." "Using 3 alphas for financial support. Let them try." She leaned back. "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to paint Kwon Minho as exactly what he is, an opportunistic alpha who abandoned his pregnant Omega and only returned when it became socially convenient. Will that work?" "It will when the court sees the evidence we've compiled." She opened a folder. Junwoo provided me with some interesting information about Mr. Kwon's activities over the last 4 years. Junwoo smiled slightly. "Turns out," Attorney Kim continued, "Kwon Minho has been quite busy. Multiple relationships, 3 other Omegas he romanced and discarded, 2 paternity scares he paid to make go away, and a history of avoiding financial responsibility." My stomach turned. "He did this to other people?" "Multiple times," Junwoo confirmed. "I found them through banking records. He has a pattern." "The court will see this," Attorney Kim said. "They'll see that this isn't about wanting to be a father. This is about image management. He's getting married to a prominent alpha family. Having a secret child would be scandalous. But having a child he's fighting to be involved with? That makes him look reformed. So what do we do?" Seo-jun asked. "We show that Tayo is thriving, that he has a stable, loving home, that he has 3 fathers who chose him and 1 who abandoned him, and we make Kwon Minho prove he deserves access." "Can you really win this?" I asked. She looked at me directly. "Mr. Han, by the time I'm done, Kwon Minho won't just lose custody. He'll lose the right to ever contact Tayo again." The hearing was brutal. Kwon Minho sat across the courtroom with his lawyer and his pregnant fiancée, looking like the picture of reformed responsibility. I sat with my mates and Attorney Kim, trying not to let my fear show. The judge, an older Omega woman named Lee Ji-hye, reviewed the petitions. "This is a complicated case," she said. "Biological father seeking custody after 4 years of absence. Omega parent now married to 3 alphas, and a child caught in the middle." "My son isn't caught in the middle," I said before Attorney Kim could stop me. "He's safe, happy, loved." Judge Lee looked at me. "You'll have a chance to testify, Mr. Han. Please wait your turn." The prosecution went first. Attorney Young painted Minho as a reformed man, someone who'd made mistakes but learned from them, someone ready to be a father. Then it was our turn. Attorney Kim called Junwoo to the stand first. "Mr. Chen," she said, "you provided the court with financial records showing Kwon Minho's pattern of behavior. Can you explain what you found?" Junwoo detailed everything: the other Omegas, the paternity suits, the payments to make problems disappear. Objection. Attorney Young stood. "This is character assassination, not relevant to his current fitness as a parent." "It's completely relevant," Attorney Kim countered. "It shows a pattern of using and discarding Omegas, including Mr. Han." "I'll allow it," Judge Lee said. "Continue." Then Attorney Kim called me. I walked to the stand on shaking legs, very aware of every eye in the courtroom. "Mr. Han," Attorney Kim's voice was gentle, "can you tell the court about your relationship with Kwon Minho?" I told them everything: meeting in university, the initial romance, the pregnancy, his reaction. "He called me defective," I said, my voice breaking, said I trapped him, that I ruined his life. Then he left, changed his number, disappeared. I tried to contact him when Tayo was born. His family threatened legal action if I ever reached out again. "And in 4 years?" Attorney Kim asked. "Did he ever try to contact you, send support, ask about his son?" "Never, not once." "What would you say if someone told you he wanted to be a father now?" "I'd say he wants the image of being a father, not the reality." "Objection," Attorney Young called. "Speculation." "It's not speculation." I shot back, looking at Judge Lee directly. "I raised Tayo alone for 4 years. I know the reality of being a parent, the sacrifice, the exhaustion, the love. Kwon Minho didn't want any of that. He just wants the credit." The courtroom was silent. Then Attorney Kim asked the final question. "Mr. Han, if the court grants Kwon Minho visitation, what do you think will happen?" I looked at Minho, at his carefully neutral expression. He'll show up a few times, I said quietly, long enough to look good, then he'll disappear again, because that's who he is, and my son will be heartbroken, because unlike Minho, Tayo has a heart big enough to hope. I stepped down. The judge called for a recess. We waited in a conference room. Seo-jun paced. Tahun held my hand. Junwoo reviewed documents. How did I do? I asked. You did perfectly, Attorney Kim said. You were honest, vulnerable, real. Will it be enough? We'll know soon. 2 hours later, we were called back. Judge Lee looked at both sides. This court has reviewed all evidence and testimony, she said. And I've made my decision. My heart stopped. Kwon Minho claims he wants to be a father, but the evidence shows he's never acted like one. He abandoned Mr. Han during pregnancy, refused contact, provided no support, and only returned when it became convenient. Meanwhile, Mr. Han has raised Tayo alone, through poverty, through illness, through challenges most people couldn't survive. And he's done it with love and dedication. The court recognizes that the Chen triplets have stepped into the role Kwon Minho abandoned. They've provided stability, support, and genuine care. Therefore, she looked directly at Minho. I'm denying the petition for custody. Additionally, I'm denying visitation rights pending evidence of genuine reform. Minho stood. Your Honor, please. Sit down, Mr. Kwon, Judge Lee said sharply. You had 4 years to be a father. You chose not to. You don't get to disrupt this child's life now. She turned to me. Mr. Han, full custody is granted to you. The court recognizes the Chen triplets as legal guardians. And, she paused, I'm issuing a restraining order. Kwon Minho is not to contact you or Tayo for a minimum of 2 years. Thank you, I whispered. Thank you. You fought for your son, Judge Lee said gently. That's all any parent should do. We left the courthouse in a daze. Seo-jun pulled me into his arms the moment we were outside. It's over, he murmured. You won. We won. I corrected, all of us. That night, we told Tayo, explained that the man who wanted to meet him wouldn't be coming around, that his family was just us, just the 5 of us. I'm glad, Tayo said, snuggling between his appas on the couch. I don't want anyone else. Just you. Just us. Just us. Tahun agreed. Forever. And for the first time since Minho appeared, I believed it. 2 years later, I stood in the same house, the same yard, watching Tayo play. My vision had stabilized. I could see everything, every smile, every laugh, every perfect moment. The door opened behind me. Mama? Tayo's voice. Can I ask you something? Always, baby, he ran over, holding a drawing. I made this at school. It's my family tree. I looked at it, Tayo's name in the center, lines connecting to me, to Seo-jun, to Tahun, to Junwoo. No line to Kwon Minho, no line to anyone else. Teacher asked if I wanted to add my biological father. He said. I said no. Is that okay? My throat closed. That's perfect, baby. Your family is who loves you, who chooses you. Biology doesn't matter. Good. He grinned, because I told her I have the best family ever. 3 appas and a mama who can see me now. I pulled him close. I can see you, I whispered, and you're perfect. Later, after Tayo was in bed, I stood with my 3 mates on our terrace. Happy? Seo-jun asked. Terrifyingly happy, I admitted. I keep waiting for it to end. It won't, Junwoo promised. How do you know? Because we fought too hard for this, Tahun said. For you, for Tayo, for us, and we're not letting go. Never letting go, Seo-jun added. And I believe them, because 3 years ago my son made a mistake, sent our last 500,000 won to the wrong account, and 3 alphas showed up at dawn to fix it. Not just the money, everything. They fixed everything I thought was broken beyond repair, and gave me a family I never knew I deserved. Thank you for staying until the end. If this story touched you, hit that subscribe button, because next time, we're diving into what happens when the past finally tries one last time to take what's ours. Kwon Minho isn't done, and when he comes back, he's bringing more than just lawyers. He's bringing blood. The next chapter drops soon. Until then, remember, family isn't biology. Family is who shows up at dawn when you need them most, if 5 years after that first dawn. I woke to sunlight streaming through our bedroom windows. Real sunlight I could actually see, warm and golden and perfect. Beside me, Seojun was already awake, reading reports on his tablet. "Morning," he murmured, setting it aside to pull me close. "Morning." I pressed my face against his chest, breathing in his scent, rain and cedar and home. The house was quiet. Taeo was 11 now, old enough to get himself ready for school, but I still needed these moments, these peaceful mornings where I could just exist without fear. "What are you thinking about?" Seojun asked, his fingers running through my hair. "How different everything is," I admitted. 5 years ago, I was terrified every day, couldn't see, could barely afford food, and now you have 3 alphas who worship you. Taehoon's voice came from the doorway. "And a son who's thriving, and vision that's stable, and a life you actually enjoy living." I turned to see him leaning against the doorframe, coffee in hand, smiling at us. "Come here," Seojun ordered gently. Taehoon climbed into bed on my other side, sandwiching me between them. "Where's Junwoo?" I asked. "Conference call with New York," Taehoon said. "Should be done soon," as if summoned. Junwoo appeared, loosening his tie as he entered. "Done," he announced. "Mergers and acquisitions can wait. Family time starts now." He joined us on the bed, creating a pile of contentment and pack scent that made my omega purr. "I love you," I said to all of them. "So much it scares me sometimes." "Why does it scare you?" Seojun asked. "Because I keep waiting to wake up, for this to be a dream, for the universe to take it back." "Not happening," Junwoo said firmly. "You're stuck with us." "Forever?" Taehoon added. A knock on the bedroom door. "Appa?" Taeo's voice, uncertain. "Are you guys awake?" "Come in, baby," I called. The door opened. Taeo stood there in his school uniform, backpack on, but his face was troubled. "What's wrong?" I asked immediately, sitting up. He held out his phone, showed me a text message. "Oh, unknown number. This is your biological father. I think it's time we met. I have things to tell you about your Omega parent that you deserve to know." My blood ran cold. Seojun took the phone, his jaw tightening as he read. "When did you get this?" he asked, his voice carefully controlled. "This morning," Taeo said. "I don't know how he got my number." "Did you respond?" Junwoo asked. "No." Taeo shook his head. "I wanted to ask you first. Is it really him, my biological father?" I looked at my mates. We'd told Taeo the truth years ago, that his biological father existed but had chosen not to be part of his life, that we were his real fathers because we chose to be. "Yes," I said gently. "That's Kwon Minho." "What does he want?" Taeo asked. Junwoo was already typing on his phone. "He violated the restraining order," he said, "which expired 6 months ago, and he's been waiting." "Waiting for what?" Taehoon asked. "For Taeo to be old enough to manipulate," Seojun said darkly. "Old enough to have questions, old enough to potentially choose him over us." I stood up, taking Taeo's hands. "Baby, listen to me," I said. "You don't have to respond. You don't have to meet him. You don't owe him anything." "But what if he has things to tell me?" Taeo asked. "Things I should know?" "There's nothing he could tell you that would change how much we love you," Taehoon said firmly. "Nothing. What if I want to meet him?" Taeo asked quietly. "Just once, to see who he is." My heart cracked, but I couldn't say no, couldn't make that choice for him. "If that's what you want," I said carefully, "we'll arrange it, safely, with all of us there." Taeo nodded. "Maybe. I don't know yet." "Can I think about it?" "Of course, baby." He left for school. I stood there, feeling like the ground had shifted again. "He's not taking our son," Seojun said immediately. "He's not trying to take him," I said. "He's trying to poison him against us." "Then we fight," Taehoon said. "Again." "No," Junwoo interrupted. "We don't fight. We let Taeo decide." "What?" Seojun turned on him. "Think about it," Junwoo said. "Minho is betting that Taeo doesn't really know what happened, that we've painted him as the villain. If we forbid contact, it makes Minho look like the victim. So we just let him." Taehoon couldn't finish the sentence. "We let Taeo meet him," Junwoo said. "With us present, let Minho show his true colors. Let Taeo see for himself What kind of person abandons their child? It was risky, dangerous, but Junwoo was right. That afternoon, when Tayo came home, I asked him what he wanted to do. He thought for a long moment. I want to meet him, he said finally. Once. Just to understand. We set it up for Saturday. Neutral location, a cafe in Gangnam. All 5 of us. Kwon Minho arrived exactly on time. He looked older, more polished. His fiancée wasn't with him. This was just him and the son he'd abandoned. Tayo, he said, his voice thick with emotion. You've grown so much. Tayo looked at him with careful eyes. Hi, he said politely. Nothing more. They sat. We sat nearby, close enough to intervene if needed. I know this is strange. Minho started, meeting like this after all these years. Why now? Tayo asked directly. Why not when I was little? Minho hesitated. I was young, scared. I made mistakes. You made choices, Tayo corrected. Mama told me. You called him defective. You said he trapped you. You left before I was born. Minho's face paled. Your Omega parent told you that? My mama told me the truth, Tayo said, and my oppas confirmed it. So why are you here? What do you want? I want to be your father. I have fathers, Tayo said. 3 of them. They chose me. You didn't. I was wrong. Minho tried again. I see that now, and I want to make it right. You can't make it right, Tayo said, and his voice was so adult it hurt to hear. You can't go back and be there when I was little. When Mama was struggling, when we needed you, I can be there now. Tayo looked at him for a long moment. Then he asked the question that broke my heart. Did you ever love us? Even a little? Minho opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again, and couldn't answer. Tayo stood up. Thank you for meeting me, he said politely, but I don't need you. I never did. He walked to our table, to his real family. Minho sat there, alone, realizing what he'd lost. And this time, I didn't feel anger, just pity. We went home. Tayo was quiet during dinner, quiet during his homework, quiet until bedtime. When I tucked him in, he finally spoke. Mama, did I do the right thing? I sat on the edge of his bed. You did exactly what you needed to do, baby. You got answers. He didn't love us, Tayo whispered. I could see it on his face. He didn't love us at all. No, I agreed gently. He didn't, and that's his loss, not ours. I love you, Tayo said, and Appa Seojun and Appa Tahon and Appa Junwoo. You're my family, the only family I need. We love you too, baby, so much. I'm glad he sent the money to the wrong account. Tayo said suddenly. That night, I'm glad, because if he hadn't, we wouldn't have found them. I laughed, tears in my eyes. Me too, baby, me too. 10 years later, I stood in the same house watching Tayo graduate from high school, valedictorian, full scholarship to Seoul National University, confident and kind in everything I'd hoped he'd become. He thanked his 3 fathers in his speech, thanked me, thanked the Appas who chose him when biology failed. In the audience, 3 identical alphas cried shamelessly, and I realized that Tayo was right all those years ago. That mistake, that 500,000 won sent to the wrong account, had been the best thing that ever happened to us, because it brought us family, real family, the kind that shows up at dawn, the kind that stays forever. Thank you for staying with this journey from beginning to end. If this story moved you, if it made you believe in second chances and chosen family, hit that subscribe button. Share this with someone who needs to hear that family isn't always blood, that sometimes the worst mistakes lead to the best outcomes, that love, real love, is always worth fighting for. Drop a comment and tell me about your chosen family, the people who showed up when you needed them, the ones who stayed when everyone else left, because that's what this story is really about. Not Omegaverse, not fated mates, but the radical act of choosing to love someone, of showing up at dawn, of staying even when it's hard. Next week, we're bringing you a story about an Omega who faked their own death to escape their pack, and the Alpha detective who spent 5 years searching for them. You won't want to miss it. Until then, remember, family is who shows up, who stays, who loves you not because they have to, but because they choose to, every single day, without fail. That's family, that's love, that's everything. 20 years after that dawn, I stood in the same yard where Tayo once chased butterflies. Now 26 years old, successful architect, mated to a kind beta who loved him fiercely. Standing beside me, my three alphas, gray at the temples but still strong, still mine, still utterly devoted. We were celebrating. Tayo and his mate had just told us they were expecting. "I'm going to be a grandmama," I said, tears streaming down my face. "We're going to be grandappas," Seo-jun corrected, pulling me close, all three of them. Tayo's mate said, laughing, "Our baby is going to have so many grandparents." "That's perfect," Tahun said. "That's exactly how it should be." Later, after everyone left, after the house was quiet again, I stood on our terrace with my mates. "Do you ever think about that night?" Junwoo asked, when Tayo sent the money. "Every day," I admitted. "Best mistake he ever made. Best mistake we ever answered." Seo-jun added, "What do you mean?" I turned to him. "We almost didn't go," he said. "It was 5 in the morning. The amount was tiny. We almost just transferred it back electronically and went back to sleep." "Why didn't you?" I asked. "Because Tahun insisted," Seo-jun said. "I did," Tahun confirmed. "I said something felt wrong, that someone doesn't accidentally send their last 500,000 won unless they're desperate, that we needed to check. And I said we needed to see them in person," Junwoo added, "make sure they were okay. So we went," Seo-jun finished, "at 5 in the morning, to return 500,000 won, and found everything," I whispered. "Found you," Seo-jun corrected. "Found Tayo, found our family." We stood there, watching the city lights, holding each other. "I'm grateful," I said, "for all of it. The struggles, the fear, the mistakes, because they led here." "Me too," Tahun said, "every single day." Junwoo agreed, "Forever," Seo-jun promised. And I knew they meant it, because 20 years ago, they showed up at dawn, and they never left, never stopped showing up, never stopped choosing us. That's the real story, not the fated mates or the dramatic custody battle or the villain who returned. The real story is 3 alphas who could have done the bare minimum. Could have just transferred money back and forgotten about us, but they showed up instead, at 5 in the morning, because someone needed help, because a child made a mistake, because in the end, love is just a series of small choices, choosing to show up, choosing to stay, choosing to fight when it would be easier to walk away. That's what made them my mates, not biology, not fate, choice. Every single day, for 20 years, and counting, I pulled them all closer, breathing in their combined scent. Rain and cedar and home. "I love you," I said, "all of you, for everything. We love you too." They said together, and in the distance I could see the city where we met, where a 6-year-old made a mistake, where 3 alphas decided to show up instead of sleep, where everything changed at dawn. I wouldn't change a single thing, not the struggle, not the pain, not the fear, because it all led here, to this moment, to this family, to this love, and that's worth everything. That's worth more than everything. That's the whole world. Thank you for being part of this journey, for believing in chosen family, for understanding that sometimes the best things in life come from accidents and mistakes and showing up when you didn't have to. If this story touched your heart, you know what to do. Subscribe, like, share. Let the world know that love isn't about perfection. It's about showing up every single day at dawn when you're needed most. That's family. That's love. That's everything that matters. See you in the next story. Until then, show up for someone. Be the alpha who returns the money at dawn. Be the person who chooses love over convenience. Be the family someone needs, because you never know. That small act of kindness, that choice to show up, it might change everything, just like it changed us, forever. And if you're wondering what happened to Kwon Minho, he eventually married, had 2 children with his alpha spouse, built the life he wanted, but I heard through mutual acquaintances that he never stopped regretting, never stopped wondering what Tayo became, never stopped living with the knowledge that he'd thrown away something precious. I don't hate him anymore. Don't waste energy on anger. I just feel sorry for him. Sorry that he'll never know the man Tayo became. The architect who designs affordable housing for struggling families. The mate who chose a partner based on kindness rather than status. The son who learned that family is about showing up, about choosing love every day. Minho lost all of that, and we gained everything. That's justice enough for me.